Welcome to Reflections on the Masculine Journey with Raith. I'm Raith, and this is where we talk about wisdom, discipline, purpose, honor, and becoming the kind of man life requires. This is Masculine Journey Reflections number 3, and today's topic is A Man Needs a Code. In the last episode, we talked about what modern men are missing. We talked about purpose, discipline, brotherhood, responsibility, wisdom, identity, and the need for direction. Today, we are going deeper into one of the most important parts of that discussion. A man needs a code, but I want to explain that in a way that is more practical than just saying have values, because a code is not just a list of nice words. A code is not just something you admire. A code is not just something you write in a notebook and forget. A code is a frame statement. It is the statement of who you are, what you value, what you will protect, what you will refuse, and how you will conduct yourself when pressure arrives. It projects your values to yourself first and then to others. Your code tells you what kind of man you are becoming, and over time, your code teaches the world how to deal with you. What is a code? When I say a man needs a code, I am talking about a set of principles that govern his behavior. A code answers questions before emotion gets involved. What do I do when I am angry? What do I do when I am tempted? What do I do when I am afraid? What do I do when nobody is watching? What do I do when I can get away with something dishonorable? What do I do when telling the truth costs me something? What do I do when another person tries to pull me away from my values? A man without a code makes decisions based on mood, pressure, appetite, fear, and convenience. That is dangerous. Because if you do not have a code, then every situation gets to negotiate with your character. And if every situation gets to negotiate with your character, eventually your character becomes flexible in all the wrong ways. A man with a code has internal law. He has standards, he has boundaries, he has lines he does not cross. That does not mean he is perfect. It means he has direction. It means he knows what he is aiming at. It means he can correct himself when he falls short. And correction is one of the most important parts of manhood. A man with no code cannot correct himself because he has no standard to return to. A code is a frame statement. Now here is the deeper point. A code is really a frame statement. Frame is the structure through which a man interprets himself, others, and the world. Your frame tells you who you are before other people try to define you. Your frame tells you what matters before temptation tries to distract you. Your frame tells you what is acceptable before pressure tries to move your boundary. So when a man says, "This is my code," what he's really saying is, "This is the frame I live from. This is how I see myself. This is how I make decisions. This is how I handle pressure. This is how I treat people. This is what I refuse to become. This is what I am building." A man's code becomes his internal posture. It becomes the way he stands in the world before he ever speaks a word. That matters because people read your frame. They may not call it frame, they may not use that language, but they feel it. They notice whether you can be pushed around. They notice whether you're easily manipulated. They notice whether you speak with conviction. They notice whether your words and actions match. They notice whether your standards change depending on who is in the room. A man's code projects something. It projects stability or instability. It projects strength or neediness. It projects discipline or chaos. It projects honor or selfishness. It projects confidence or insecurity. That is why a code matters. Because your code does not only speak to you, it speaks through you. Your code tells you who you are. Before your code projects anything to the world, it must first speak to you. A man must be able to remind himself, "I am a man of truth. I am a man of discipline. I am a man of responsibility. I am a man of honor. I am a man who protects what matters. I am a man who keeps his word. I am a man who does not surrender his standards for temporary comfort." These statements are not fantasy if they are tied to action. They become identity when you prove them through behavior. This is important because many men have no clear identity. They are constantly reacting to how others see them. If someone praises them, they feel strong. If someone criticizes them, they fall apart. If a woman rejects them, they question their worth. If a boss disrespects them, they lose their center. If friends mock their values, they abandon them. That is a man without stable frame. A man with a code does not need every room to approve of him. He knows what he stands for. He is not arrogant. He is not closed-minded. He is not incapable of learning, but he is not for sale. That is the power of a code. It gives a man internal alignment. When a man knows his code, he can ask himself a simple question. Does this action match the man I claim to be? That question will save a man from many mistakes. It will stop him before he lies. It will stop him before he betrays. It will stop him before he loses control. It will stop him before he wastes his life chasing something that weakens him. The code becomes a mirror, and every man needs a mirror that tells the truth. Your code tells others how to treat you. A man's code also projects his values to others. People learn how to deal with you by watching what you tolerate, what you reward, what you excuse, and what you refuse. If you claim to value respect but allow constant disrespect, your code is not being projected. If you claim to value honesty but accept lies because confrontation is uncomfortable, your code is not being projected. If you claim to value discipline but live in chaos, your code is not being projected. If you claim to value loyalty but betray people when it benefits you, your code is not being projected. Your real code is not what you say. Your real code is what you consistently live. And other people see that. Your family sees it. Your friends see it. Your coworkers see it. Your children see it. The woman in your life sees it. Even strangers can often feel when a man has structure. They can sense whether he is grounded or needy. They can sense whether he is acting from conviction or seeking approval. They can sense whether he has control over himself. A man does not need to announce his code every 5 minutes. He needs to embody it. The more he embodies it, the more his life communicates it. That is frame. Frame is not just how you talk. Frame is how you carry your values under pressure. A man with frame does not need to dominate the room. He simply does not surrender himself to the room. The code must be more than image. One danger today is that men are often encouraged to create an image instead of a code. They are told to look masculine, sound masculine, dress masculine, post masculine quotes, talk about discipline, talk about strength, talk about leadership. But an image is not the same as a code. An image is for other people to see. A code is for you to live. A man can look strong and still be weak in private. A man can talk about honor and still betray people. A man can post about discipline and still be ruled by appetite. A man can speak about loyalty and still abandon people when things get hard. That is why the code has to be internal before it becomes external. The question is not, what image am I projecting? The question is, what truth am I embodying? A code becomes real when it costs something. Truth becomes real when lying would be easier. Discipline becomes real when comfort is available. Loyalty becomes real when betrayal would benefit you. Honor becomes real when no one is watching. Courage becomes real when fear is present. Self-control becomes real when emotion is high. That is when your code is tested. And a man does not truly know his code until it has been tested. The core values of a masculine code. Now let's talk about what belongs in a masculine code. Every man must write his own, but there are certain values that have always been central to strong manhood. The first is truth. Truth means I will not build my life on lies. I will tell the truth to myself first because self-deception is where weakness hides. The second is honor. Honor means I will live in a way that keeps my name clean, my word strong, and my conduct aligned with my values. The third is integrity. Integrity means I will not become two different men, one in public and one in private. I will work to become whole. The fourth is discipline. Discipline means I will not allow my emotions, appetites, or impulses to rule me. I will train myself to do what is required. The fifth is courtesy. Courtesy means my strength will not become cruelty. I can be firm without being disrespectful. I can be strong without being crude. The sixth is loyalty. Loyalty means I will not betray those who have earned my allegiance. I will stand where I have given my word. The seventh is responsibility. Responsibility means I will carry what is mine to carry. I will not blame others for the work I must do. The eighth is courage. Courage means I will act rightly even when fear, discomfort, or social pressure is present. These are not just words. They are framed statements. Each one says something about the man. Truth says, I will not live by deception. Honor says, I will not sell my character. Integrity says, I will not split myself into pieces. Discipline says, I will not be ruled by impulse. Courtesy says, I will not confuse strength with disrespect. Loyalty says, I will not betray what matters. Responsibility says, I will not run from my duty. Courage says, I will not let fear decide my life. That is a code. And when a man lives by it, people can feel the difference. How a code protects a man. A code protects a man from himself. That may sound strange, but it is true. Most men are not destroyed by one large enemy. They are destroyed by repeated small compromises. A little dishonesty, a little laziness, a little resentment, a little indulgence, a little excuse, a little betrayal, a little avoidance, a little cowardice. At first, these things seem small, but over time they build a pattern. And that pattern becomes a life. A code interrupts the pattern. It gives a man a line. It gives him a moment to stop and ask, is this who I am? Is this who I want to become? Is this action aligned with my values? Will I respect myself after this? Would I want my son to copy this? Would I want other men to know this about me? Those questions can save a man. A code does not make temptation disappear. It gives a man something stronger than temptation. A code does not make anger disappear. It gives a man something higher than anger. A code does not make fear disappear. It gives a man something more important than fear. That is why a code is not restrictive. It is freeing. It frees a man from being ruled by every moment. How to build your personal code. So how does a man build his code? Start simple. Do not write a constitution. Do not write something so complicated that you cannot remember it. A code should be clear enough to live by under pressure. Begin with this question. What kind of man do I refuse to become? That is powerful. I refuse to become dishonest. I refuse to become weak through comfort. I refuse to become cruel with my strength. I refuse to become disloyal. I refuse to become a man who abandons responsibility. I refuse to become a man who lives without purpose. Then ask, what kind of man am I committed to becoming? I am committed to becoming truthful. I am committed to becoming disciplined. I am committed to becoming honorable. I am committed to becoming useful. I am committed to becoming responsible. I am committed to becoming wise. I am committed to becoming strong enough to serve and protect. From there, build a short code. Here is an example. I will tell the truth, especially to myself. I will keep my word. I will discipline my body, mind, and emotions. I will protect what has been entrusted to me. I will act with honor even when it costs me. I will correct myself when I fall short. I will build more than I consume. I will live with purpose. That is a code. It is short. It is clear. It gives direction. And if a man reads that every morning and measures his day against it every night, he will begin to change. Living the code in the real world. Now let's bring this down to earth. A code is not proven in comfortable moments. It is proven in ordinary life. It is proven when you are tired and still do what needs to be done. It is proven when you are angry and choose control. It is proven when you are tempted and choose discipline. It is proven when someone disrespects you and you respond from strength instead of insecurity. It is proven when your family needs you and you show up. It is proven when work is hard and you remain reliable. It is proven when you make a mistake and own it. It is proven when you apologize without making excuses. It is proven when you are alone and still act with honor. This is where the code becomes visible. You do not need to tell people you are a man of values. Live in such a way that they discover it. Let your consistency speak. Let your restraint speak. Let your discipline speak. Let your honesty speak. Let your courtesy speak. Let your loyalty speak. Let your actions become the evidence. That is how your code becomes frame, and that is how frame becomes reputation. Practical exercise. Before we close, I want to give you a practical exercise. Write this at the top of a page. My code is my frame. Then write 3 sections. Section 1, what I stand for. List 5 values, for example, truth, discipline, honor, responsibility, wisdom. Section 2, what I refuse. List 5 things you will not allow to define you. For example, I refuse dishonesty, I refuse cowardice, I refuse laziness, I refuse betrayal, I refuse to be ruled by anger. Section 3, how I will show it. For each value, write 1 behavior. Truth, I will tell myself the truth about my habits. Discipline, I will keep 1 daily promise to myself. Honor, I will do the right thing when no one is watching. Responsibility, I will handle what I have been avoiding. Wisdom, I will pause before reacting. That is how you begin. A code is not built by theory, it is built by repeated action. This has been Masculine Journey Reflections number 3. A Man Needs a Code. I'm Raith, and this is Reflections on the Masculine Journey with Raith. Today we talked about how man's code is more than a list of values. It is a frame statement. It tells you who you are. It tells others what you stand for. It gives structure to your decisions. It protects you from compromise. It projects your values through your conduct. And most importantly, it gives you a standard to return to when life tests you. If this message speaks to you, subscribe to the channel, follow the podcast, and share this episode with another man who is trying to build himself with purpose. Leave a comment with this answer. What is one value that belongs in a man's code? In the next episode, we will continue the journey with another important topic, discipline before emotion. Until then, remember, a man without a code is easily moved by the world. A man with a code carries his frame into the world. He knows who he is, he knows what he stands for, and he builds his life from that foundation. I'll see you next time on Reflections on the Masculine Journey with Raith.